You had anything to drink tonight?
The answer was yes, more than 40,000 times last year in Florida, resulting in a DUI arrest. Almost 11,000 in Tampa Bay.
I want something done.
Tina Stoddard's daughter, Christina, was killed while riding in a car driven by Jamie Coffey, who blew more than twice the legal limit and is still waiting for his sentencing.
I want him locked up for a long, long time. I don't want him back out on the streets to hurt somebody else.
Ellen Snelling with the Tampa Alcohol Coalition is also advocating tougher laws in the state of Florida.
But anytime there's more than one DUI, I just feel like, you should throw the book at them. Part of what happens is you have a good defense attorney.
Former NFL and Tampa Bay Storm player Darian Connor is a prime example of what a really good defense attorney can do. This 2004 dash cam shows Connor reciting the alphabet for his fourth DUI arrest and second DUI homicide. But it wasn't until this arrest that Connor finally went to prison. He's now serving 15 years.
It's really a selfish act, as far as I'm concerned. You're going to go out and have a great time and drink and then get behind a wheel.
Selfish or not, in Florida, defense lawyers are able to get almost 40% of the DUI arrest charges downgraded to reckless driving or dismissed entirely.
I think the laws are antiquated.
Alam Isaac, who won the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Prosecutor Award twice when he was working as an assistant state attorney, now works the other side, defending DUI suspects.
How accurate are these devices?
According to Isaac, many cases have to be downgraded to lesser charges because breath testing machines have proven unreliable. And Florida DUI convictions also rely on a subjective observation by police officers, which can easily be challenged.
As a prosecutor, I endeavored to make sure that when I went to court, my evidence was reliable.
Isaac says if the state wants to get serious about taking drunk drivers off the road and getting more convictions, the state should switch from a breath test to a blood test.
Blood testing is the gold standard. Breath testing is substandard.
As it is today, 4 out of 10 arrested for DUI will not be convicted, increasing the risk of taking lives and leaving loved ones with immeasurable pain.
Losing a child is the worst thing ever.
And here's a scary stat. Every 53 minutes, someone is killed in the United States by a drunk driver. Every 90 seconds, someone is hurt. And one of the biggest problems, even if someone is arrested, they can strike again. Tonight at 11, we'll show you how one of the biggest problems out there is repeat offenders. It happens over and over. A drunk person takes the wheel and literally crashes lives. That's the case with Kevin Williams in his third DUI arrest. This video is from Williams' arrest last year. He committed 2 hit-and-run accidents within 5 minutes on West Shore Boulevard in Tampa. This after 2 previous DUI arrests. Williams was so drunk, he couldn't remember his last name.
What's your last name? Kevin. Your last name's Kevin? Yes. What's your first name? Kevin.
Williams is just one of more than 113,000 three-time DUI offenders in Florida. And there are more than 11,000 who have 5 arrests and are still driving.
Yeah, it's personal to me. It's personal.
Clearwater attorney Tom Carey represents victims' families. Carey also knows what the families are going through because 30 years ago his wife Joni was killed by a drunk driver who had 5 previous DUIs.
And then when he killed her, that was his 6th DUI.
The next 2 words I hear were, "You got hit. Drunk driver."
Andrew Hall is living proof of the consequences of repeatedly driving drunk.
When I found out that the guy who hit me was a repeat offender, yeah, I didn't know what to feel.
In 2009, Hall was standing on a street corner waiting for a ride when he was hit by a car. His leg was severed.
I'm affected physically. I'm affected emotionally.
The car was driven by Joshua West, who had a previous DUI arrest that was downgraded to a reckless driving. Pasco Senator Wilton Simpson thinks he has an alternative that could prevent a tragedy such as this. It's a bracelet that would be worn by anyone arrested for DUI that automatically notifies authorities when that person has any alcohol.
We don't want to use this technology to take away people's rights, but when you have a DUI, you have no rights.
Simpson wants to use the bracelet instead of a breathalyzer interlock device required for 3-time offenders, and he wants it for all DUI arrests.
But a judge could put this type of device on folks that are even pleading down.
And until there are measures in place to prevent repeat offenders like Joshua West, who is now in prison, innocent victims like Andrew Hall will continue to pay the price every day.
Joshua West got 8 years, sir. I got a life sentence.
And one of the biggest concerns in Florida is that jail time isn't mandated unless a drunk driver kills or seriously hurts someone, as Joshua West did in Andrew Hall's case, or that a driver is on his 4th DUI offense.
Made by the state of Florida.
She's been on the bench 8 years.
If I have this opportunity to do good, and that's what being a judge is to someone like me.
That was in 2007 when Tracy Sheehan took the oath of office.
And my neighbor said, well, wow, what's with these media? Shame on them for, beating you up about this. I'm like, no, shame on me.
That was in 2013 when Judge Tracy Sheehan learned the most important lesson of all. It was the night she was arrested after being in Ybor City. The judge said she didn't think she was that impaired until the police officer pulled her over.
I got behind the wheel in that condition with my cousin, and my cousin is very dear to me, and I could have killed him.
And Judge Sheehan says she will never forget that lesson and is amazed that so many others don't, as there are thousands of repeat offenders.
It is astounding because the sanctions are really onerous. The entire experience is outrageous, from a defendant's standpoint. So why you would put yourself in that position again?
But Sheehan, who had to deal not only with public embarrassment, but also the cost of DUI, driving school, and the interlock device she had to blow in to drive her car, is aware many repeat offenders beat their first DUI arrest.
The severity of the consequences certainly drove home the need never to be in that situation again. So perhaps we do people a disservice by giving them a little pass, and perhaps that emboldens you to do it again, or allows you to delude yourself into thinking you can get away with it.
And the judge believes most who get behind the wheel over the limit believe they're in control. And she was surprised to learn when she had to go to DUI school, almost everyone there was arrested within a mile or two of their home.
Maybe I did have a couple drinks, but I can make it on home, and I'm sure I'm safe enough to get home, and we'll make it there without encountering law enforcement. But almost everybody in the class was within a mile or two, and so deluding themselves with that sort of thinking.
And while Judge Tracy Sheehan was once on the wrong side of the bench, she vows never to be there again. And for her, the DUI was a sobering experience.
I was very lucky that I wasn't hurt, that my cousin wasn't hurt, that I didn't hurt somebody else. And it was a humongous amount of inconvenience and aggravation and embarrassment.
A year and a half after Sheehan's arrest, she was reprimanded by the Florida Supreme Court. The Chief Justice told her she had accepted full responsibility for her actions, and they believed it was an isolated case. They also said a second time would draw a much harsher response.